In high school, I had one of my first battles with authority figures in a passion discussion with one of my teachers where I believed and wrote a story or wrote a paper on nice guys don't finish last. And my teacher was adamant that I would not get anywhere in business or in life. That if I went into life with that approach, nice guys don't finish last, that I would not be successful in business because, the late 80s had shown that people that take from others tended to be the ones that were most successful in business, right? Movies have been made about it, like Wall Street and like all these movies with people with great power, but those people also climbed to the top while climbing on people. And that just wasn't who I was. It wasn't what I believed, and it wasn't how I thought we should grow business. And so thus the argument. Over the years, I built my adage, like my mantra was hire the right people, train them the right way, help them to achieve their goals. And that's morphed into help them to achieve their dreams. And I focused on improving my people in order for them to grow. And when they grew, I grew. And when I grew, the company I worked for grew. I had a mentor of mine very early in just basically tell me that, hey, Jeff, if you're doing something good with your people, and somebody comes through and asks what happened, like give all the credit to them. Because if they're doing good and you're their manager, it looks good on you too. And I ran with it, right? Like I was already running with it. It was already a belief of mine. So then I worked for a company that literally came to me at one point in time and said, hey, Jeff, we need you to fire everybody in your organization. I was like, what? Like, yeah, we're going to be going a different direction. Why don't you just go ahead and let them go? And then we're going to have you teach all the new people that we're going to bring on our new direction. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And so I quit. And then I went to another company, worked hundreds of hours a week, and that's probably not even possible, over 100 hours a week between travel and all the hours in the workday in order to build a new safe place for that company. In fact, I spent many years and working for many different companies just to establish safe places and to work to help my people succeed. There is a quote in the Give and Take book by Adam Grant. It says that every time we interact with another person, we have a choice to make. Do we try to claim as much value as we can from them, or do we contribute value without worrying about what we receive in return? He goes into talking about givers and takers and matchers. The giver, kind of obvious. They give to others without asking for anything in return, right? That's how they believe in life. That's their philosophy. They've got the takers. And the takers take from others, not often giving, like they're looking to up themselves. So they want to know what they can learn and what they can gain from every relationship that they have in their life. And then you have the matchers. They're the people that are somewhere in between, right? Like where they give some and they take some and they want it to remain about even. They don't want it to go too givey. They don't want it to go too takey. They'll feel a little, like a used car salesperson. I hear that quote from salespeople all the time. I don't want to feel like a used car salesperson. And, like that's the basis of the first chapter for the book. So what it ends up going into, and as I started to read, my heart actually started to sink. Because as I was reading, it went into studies where the book was talking about, they did all these studies on all these different professions, and who do you think was at the bottom of the success ladder through all of these all these companies that they looked into? Service industry, retail, restaurant, medical, even engineering. Like, who do you think was at the bottom of the success? Right. Unfortunately, it was the givers. The givers were at the bottom. They were always giving. And because they were always giving, many others would get better test scores and do better in classes and on their tests and in work because those people were giving. Tell some great stories about some great givers that we've heard in life and the failures that they experienced. And my heart sunk because, again, I've literally based my career on all of this. And so I kept reading. And as I kept reading, it started talking about who the top of the ladder was. And who do you think the top of the ladder is? We've got the givers, the takers, and the matchers. So the people that try to keep it even, the people that take and learn and grow, or the givers again. It was the givers. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. The givers are at the bottom and the givers are at the top. And obviously there's some takers at the top, some matchers at the top, some takers at the bottom, some matchers at the bottom. And like it wasn't, fully exclusive. But what we found was that the majority of that top rung and the majority of the bottom rung were the givers in both areas. So obviously there's something that's separating whether or not you are a giver that succeeds or a giver that fails. And that's what the basis of this book is, by the way. So the basis of this book is digging into what the difference is between giving to help others and how that giving can help you to either succeed or how that giving actually holds you back. So stay with me. We're going to dig into this more over the next couple of weeks and learn what those differences are, because I love to give. And if you love to give like me, this is going to be a book for you to follow along with. Talk to you more.